All right. So today I was asked about how we can solve a question like the following. We're given two different functions, and so f of x is literally just saying, the function that we're naming f, and x is the input. So that's all why we have all the x's on this side. This is equivalent to saying the same thing as y. So this is like saying y equals 0.15 x cubed plus x squared plus 0.1 x plus 0.6. But the function notation really helps with just identifying, okay, this one is called f, this one is called g, and that x on the inside is just saying x is what we would consider the input. It's the value that we're putting in to the equation to find what the output would be. And then the question is asking to find when f of x is equal to g of x. So we're looking for whenever we put in a value for x, will we get out a value for y? So we'll get a value for the function, and we want to find when those x values and y values are exactly the same. So here we have a third degree function, so that's a cubic function, and I know I'm just using my mouse here, but it tells me that the function is going to look something like what my mouse is moving on. And then we also have an absolute value function, and it's negative. So where we have our cubic function that makes that nice cubic pattern, it starts down, comes up, and then it usually has a little drop in it, and then it continues back up to infinity. This absolute value function is going to look like a V shape, but since it's negative for the a value, so it's got a negative outside the absolute value, that says it's going to flip, essentially. So we're looking for a graph that looks like this, and then a graph that looks like this, and we're going to find where they cross. So if you just kind of imagine those lines that I just kind of scribed with my mouse there, that's the idea of what we are trying to do. We want to find where they cross, aka where are the x and the y values the same. So to do this, we're going to talk about how we can do it with a graphing calculator, and I'm going to go ahead and use my favorite graphing calculator, which is called Desmos. So if I go up here to Desmos, and I'm just going to open up the internet, move this little picture out of the way for now, and I'm going to go ahead and open up that graphing calculator. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is go ahead and type in the two functions. The first function, y equals 0.15 x cubed plus, gotta get back out of that, so of course I'm going to be screwing that up right now. Why, come on. Well, you know what I'm going to do there. We're just going to go ahead and delete that little part off rather than try to do all the keystrokes for it. I'm just going to delete that off. And to get back down to my main level, I can just press that right arrow, and now I'm back at that main level. So I've got plus x squared oh my goodness, I just keep zooming in. So x squared, another way that I can go ahead and get this is to pull this up down here. And where is my fancy little button here? So I want to be able to make it x squared. And then we'll have plus, and let me bring this back up. We've got plus 0.1x plus 0.6. So there's our first function. And you can see that nice cubic pattern that it comes with. It's got a positive a value at that 0.15. So it's going to start from the negative infinity and continue, and then continue all the way to positive infinity. So there's our first graph. Now we want to go ahead and do the other one. So we have y is equal to, and let me get this over here so I can still see it, and also be able to use my values here. And I want to do an absolute value function. I want it to be negative, so I'll go ahead and type negative absolute value of 1.1x, and then plus 6.4. And here we have that other graph that I was kind of trying to show you was happening. Ooh, voice crack there. Here's that other graph I was trying to show you. I was telling you it looks like a V shape when it's positive. Kind of looks like an A shape whenever it's negative. And as you can see, there's 3 different points where these intersect. So we've got an intersection here, here, and here. Those are all the places that the 2 functions are equal to each other. So I can actually, with GeoGebra, it's really nice. It goes ahead and Desmos. It goes ahead, I can click on that spot and it just automatically puts it right there at that intersection. So I can zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, and you can tell that point is right there on that intersection. So this is one of our solutions, negative 6.812 and negative 1.0933. I'm going to go ahead and write that down because that's just the first solution. Sorry, I'm going to be using something that I used earlier in the day. Go ahead and delete some of that off of there. All right, so our first solution, make sure we get this written down correctly, is negative 6.812 and negative 1.0933. Now, we saw that there were other solutions, so if I come back to my graph, I can go ahead and drag that over, and I just want to find where's the next intersection. I'm going to zoom out, make that a little bit faster, and here we have our other solution, okay, our second solution. So I go ahead, I'm going to type that down so I don't forget it. Negative 2.3109 and 3.858. And we got to go ahead and get that last one. So I'll zoom back out. I find that other point of intersection and write that down. So we've got 1.722 and 4.505. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and compare this back to the question. And so it's asking what are all the solutions to the equation to the nearest hundredth. So now the big thing is just going to be that we need to go ahead and write these solutions written out to the nearest hundredth. So we just got to round these. So here we've got a 2 at the end, or we've got a 2 in the thousands place. So that's just going to round to negative 6.81. We've got a 3 in the thousands place here. I really don't care what's in the 10,000s place. And so the 3, it's less than 5. So we go ahead and just leave that. Here, in our thousands place is a 0, so it's just going to be negative 2.31. Here we finally have some rounding. Our thousands place is an 8, so we round that to 6. Here we round to 2, and then here it's 5, so we're going to round this to 1. And now we have the 3 solutions that we would need for this problem right here. So notice it does have 3 different solutions because there's 3 different spots that it intersects. And so when you're using a graphing calculator, like if you use the one online like Desmos that I just used, it's really easy to find those intersections. If you're using something like a TI-83, you would have to go in and find the intersection function. I don't have my calculator in front of me right now, but I want to say it's in the calculate menu up at the top along those top 5 buttons of functions that allow you to graph and look at tables. There should be a calculate, and then when you scroll down, it has the option for intersection. And then you have to pick each intersection. You get the solution for it, and then you have to go and you got to find the intersection of the second solution, and then you got to find the intersection of the third. When I have the opportunity, I really prefer to use this Desmos calculator. It does have a phone app as well. It's completely free. But if you are using like a TI-83 graphing calculator, there's some different steps that I'd be more than glad to go over that with the TI-83. But these right here are our 3 solutions, aka intersections, aka when the 2 functions are equal.